What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Oklahoma real estate market today. There is so much going on that we have to talk about and so much misinformation out there. I can't wait to get into it with you guys about several things that have been hitting the industry lately. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, Stacey Hesser here, your favorite realtor in all of Oklahoma, and I am bringing you the Oklahoma real estate market today to talk about several things that are happening with real estate and the economy that are having an impact or will be having an impact on our economy here. So I really can't wait to discuss this with you. We're going to be talking about it first at the national level, then the state level, and then we're going to get real granular and talk about it specifically for Ardmore, Oklahoma, which is southern Oklahoma. Ardmore is one of the largest communities in southern Oklahoma, so it's really a great tell of what's happening in the more rural communities of the area. So let's get into it. I'm sure a lot of you are listening to the news and just hearing how terrible the economy is and how terrible everything's going to be happening. The housing market's going to be a big bubble that's just going to burst, and everything's basically just going to hell in a handbasket. Well, I'm here to tell you I'm still selling houses. We do have an election coming up. Lord only knows what's going to be happening with our election. Been exciting so far. I do feel that the feds are getting primed for doing a rate cut. There are certain economic aspects that are happening today that are really going to start to influence the feds to make that decision and do a drop. One of the things that they look at is the unemployment rate, which is gradually creeping up. We are sitting, I believe, at 4.1% nationally, and the state of Oklahoma is trending right along with that. Another one is just the amount of spending that the United States of America is doing, and that spending is finally starting to taper off a bit. And these are two big indicators on whether or not the feds are going to be doing any kind of a rate drop. So that's kind of that in a nutshell. The big news, obviously, is always talking about interest rates. I know interest rates is always a hot topic. Interest rates are still holding steady around that 7% marker, credit dependent, and sellers are a lot more willing to negotiate with you and help pay buyers closing costs, which allows buyers to buy down an interest rate. I've had some people not understand what that means, but you can actually take some of your funds and put that towards a lower interest rate, which is called a rate buy down. My purpose in bringing this up is just really to help you have an understanding that an interest rate isn't necessarily something that you're stuck with to the end of a loan term. An interest rate is something that you can buy down, and an interest rate is also something that you can refinance later when interest rates do drop. So that's really my big takeaway on that. Sorry, I kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent there. That's not what this video is really about. But like I said, I've had so many people ask me about interest rates. I really wanted to help educate you and help you understand that this is something that you have some control over. So anyways, moving on. The other biggest thing, holy cow. So big news in the real estate industry. There's been a lot of people making a lot of false claims about how the whole real estate market's going to be redefined. Everybody's going to have to find a new way to do business. And all of this is really circling around the commissions being negotiable for realtors. Newsflash, commissions have always been negotiable. This whole, I'm going to try not to get on a soapbox about this, but this whole lawsuit really just got a little bit under my skin because some people were saying that buyers don't pay their realtors. In a sense, they do. In a sense, they do. Just to give you a little bit of education on that, the commission before had been basically paid for by whoever it is that's selling the property to pay the listing agent's brokerage and pay the buyer's agent's brokerage. It's really vital that people that are listing houses understand and can explain this clearly to somebody that is looking to sell their house, because if you're saying, I'm only going to pay the listing agent's commission, your pool of people that are going to buy the house or have the funds available to buy the house is going to shrink dramatically. Most of my first-time home buyers are asking to negotiate closing costs already. They need help with some of the closing costs. And I'm going to throw up an example here for you guys, just so you have an understanding of what we're talking about, because where'd my phone go? I'm recording on my phone. I can't pull this up on my phone if I'm recording on my phone. Oh my gosh. Okay. Woo! Having a moment. I'm having a moment. I haven't even been drinking, you guys. I haven't had one beer. Okay, so rewind. When a buyer is purchasing a house, they have to come up with a down payment. Down payment's based off of a percentage of the purchase price of the house, which is going to be anywhere between 3 to 5% down. They're also going to have to come up with the first entire year of taxes and the first entire year of homeowners insurance in the state of Oklahoma. Those are some really big expenses. When you're selling a house, really the only obligation that you have to sell is going to be mostly the title fees. There's also some other fees that will be thrown in there, but they really don't add up to a whole lot. What the buyer broker agreement is doing is it's having buyers now hire a buyer's agent. This agreement takes effect the moment that we are starting to open doors for you. So the moment we're doing showings and we are starting to discuss properties with you, you need to have a realtor picked out and a realtor hired. The nuts and bolts of a buyer broker agreement is basically you and I, you the buyer, me the buyer's agent, having a discussion about what services I will be providing to you and what my compensation will be at the end of the term and how I'm going to receive that compensation. So that's it in a nutshell. All of this goes into effect on August 17th. The media is making it like this is some big shakeup in our industry, and it's really not. It'll be interesting. I don't know. It'll be interesting how well the public is educated on this, and it's really falling back to us as realtors to make sure that people truly do understand this correctly. But at the end of the day, it was always on us to educate the public in how we do business and how we get compensated, and that compensation's always been negotiable. So anyways, that's really discussing buyer broker agreement. I'm going to have a different video on that at a different time, a little bit later, to really go through the form for the state of Oklahoma specifically. Moving on. All right. So now that we've discussed a little bit about some of the news that's been happening about the economy and also with the shakeout of the real estate market with realtors specifically, we're going to be discussing a little bit about what's happening on the national level with home sales specifically. Okay, so first slide we're going to be looking at is the total annual home sales that are coming up. 2023 was our lowest year that we've had ever since, 2008. So you can see on this graph that I've got here, home sales total overall was 4.1. What they're projecting for 2024 is going to be at 4.3. So not a lot of change. You can see on a much smaller scale that this, I don't ever want to define this as a market crash because it's not. COVID happened. That's what happened. COVID happened. The economy as a whole just kind of went haywire. We're just trending where we were before. I don't know. We'll see what happens with all of that. The next screen we're going to be talking about is the annual appreciation. You can really tell here the actual recession, the actual bubble, because home prices took a dip. When we went through the crash of 2008, you can see we went in the red. We do expect to end 2024 with an overall increase in home price of 2.2%. Again, this is a national trend. This is not a local or an Oklahoma trend. This is national. Along that same line, we're going to talk about the overall annual inventory nationally, and this discussed the annual month's supply of inventories. You can see right here, balanced market equals 6 months. So that means that if we didn't get any new homes on the market, it would take us 6 months to sell out all of the houses that are currently for sale. You can see since we had the big crash in 2008 that we have been on a steady decline on the amount of inventory that we have for sale. And part of this is because we haven't had homes built that have been keeping up with demand. So again, this is precisely my reason why I say we are not in a bubble, because we are just simply not having this massive influx of inventory. So it's just kind of a strange thing. And also buyers are able to ask for concessions from sellers. Buyers are just having a very tough time right now in the market, not only with the increase in interest rates, but also with the increase in the home prices. So affordability is becoming a bigger and bigger issue for us. Moving on to the state level, what has been happening with the state of Oklahoma? Holy cow! My heart sings just a little bit, just a little bit. We have a glimmer of hope. We are eliminating the grocery sales tax. That's right. The state of Oklahoma was paying sales tax on groceries. This is one of the several taxes that you would see in a sales tax, but at least the state of Oklahoma is finally eliminating the grocery sales tax. Yay! Also in good news, the Oklahoma Department of Aerospace and Aeronautics and the Aircraft Owner and Pilots Association has celebrated a significant milestone in the aerospace and aviation education this week with the announcement that Oklahoma has maintained its top spot in the country with a whopping 116 schools scheduled to begin teaching the AOPA You Can Fly high school curriculum for the 2024-2025 school year. It's really great news for us, for Oklahoma, that we have received such a prestigious notch in our belt. And baby, we are number one. We are number one for something amazing and positive in the education world. All right, so I am part of the Tulsa MLS, which covers most of the market, pretty much from I-35 east to the Arkansas border, and it covers a lot of the territory, both from Texas all the way up to Kansas. So it's almost half the state that's encompassed with the Tulsa MLS. There is a helicopter. Can you guys hear that? Boy, he was like low. That was crazy. Okay, so just talking about average sales prices here. Okay, so let's discuss average sales prices first. So again, this is for the entire MLS. We are sitting at $315,000 for June 2024. Look at that skyrocket up there. It's just wild. June, we were at $286,966. So quite a dramatic change there of an increase of 9.9%. Let's look at new listings. June, we had 2,563 new listings hit the market. June of last year, we had 2,517 listings hit the market. So fairly flat, just an increase of 1.8%. But you can see that seasonality of market there, just that in the winter months, you definitely have fewer new listings hit the market. Homes for sale. This is the overall inventory in our market. So 5,487 this year versus 4,496 last year. So you're definitely seeing an overall increase as more homes are being built, but that's an increase of 22%. Yay for new builds. Pending sales. So this is how many people have actually gone under contract and put in a contract. So we had 1,785 in June versus 1,752. So again, pretty flat in pending sales from year over year. Interesting. How many sales have we actually closed though? Let's take a look at that. Okay, so closed sales. Let's take a look at this. You can again see our seasonality of market, but June this year, 1,608, which is a dip month over month from 2023. Last year we had 1,802. Okay, let's look at days on market. We're going to look at two metrics here. We're going to look at median days and average days. Median days is just the middle number. So if you take all of the listings and the average days that each listing had, the median is going to be that middle day. So here you're going to see that it was 19. And the previous year we were sitting at 11. So that middle number was 11. Now that middle number is 19. So that's an increase of 72%. And you can see how we really peaked out. But look at this. It really levels out when you hit average days on market. Very different story. So we're currently sitting at 56 days average versus, let me creep back here, 44 days in 2023, an increase of 27%. So what does this mean? Why am I even looking at median versus average? This is really telling a story that if you're pricing your house correctly the first time, you're going to be going under contract in that first 2 weeks of being on the market. If you haven't hit that sweet spot with pricing your house, you're going to be sitting on the market a while. That's what this chart is telling you. That's why it is so important to have a deep discussion and make sure that you're putting out the right incentives to bring in the buyers and to actually get contracts, get showings on your listing. Okay, so that's the big news of things that are happening in the state of Oklahoma. Hope you enjoyed that. Let's get into the granular aspects of what's happening in southern Oklahoma in Ardmore area. So first up, Michelin is continuing on with their layoffs of the 1,400 people. I have dealt with the first wave of layoffs, helping Michelin employees relocate out to other locations, which they're everywhere in the nation. I was shocked to hear this. They're aiming to be complete with the layoff by 2025. So they're definitely doing a slow roll on this, if you will. Dollar Tree unfortunately got hit with the tornado down in Marietta. Dollar Tree employed 450 people. They did opt to not rebuild the warehouse. They opted to offer their employees the opportunity to move over to their Duncan distribution center or just be laid off. But we've got things happening in Ardmore still that really give me clues that we are going to survive this and we're not going to have a collapse of our economy here. We have a new Albertson's grocery store that's currently under construction and will be opened later this year. I'm very excited to have a grocery store other than Walmart here. We also have Aldi, but Aldi just doesn't have quite the selection I like. But anyway, we also have the Lakecrest Casino that has opened up. This was a big coup for our area. We also have a new gas station going in close to Mercy Hospital. The cat dealership is open. But most importantly, Ardmore is doing an $8 million investment in stormwater upgrades to the area and investing funds in itself. This is really probably my biggest indicator that Ardmore is going to be okay. We're going to land on our feet and we're going to be all right. Are we going to have some problems in the meantime? Yes, but I don't think it's going to be any kind of major collapse of our economy. It's just going to be a bit of a dip, and then we're going to keep going on a rise. Parks and Recreation also for the city of Ardmore continues to reinvest as we've got some more pickleball courts that have opened up. Pickleball is huge here, you guys. I don't know. I haven't checked it out myself. I'm not a pickleball player. I don't have a lot of eye-hand coordination with things at times. So good news for Ardmore though. But let's take a look at what's going on in the real estate industry of Ardmore. Let's pull up our market data here. So what we are looking at now is the average sales price of Ardmore. You can see that we've had quite an increase, 281,000. I don't know if that's crazy. That's a crazy high number. It is an increase of 13% year over year. It just implies to me that we probably had some higher end houses that have sold recently, because that, folks, is a very big number for our area. And I don't really feel like that's an accurate representation of what our average sales price really is here. Last year, we were sitting at 249,000. Interesting. Okay, new listings hitting the market. We had 90 listings hit the market in June. That is an increase in our overall listings hitting the market. As you can see, we had 57 last year. And you can kind of see that even though it's a little erratic, we are creeping up higher and higher. We are now sitting at 57%. Total homes for sale, you can see that gradual rise though of 105%. We now have 249 homes for sale, whereas previously we had 121. Definitely an increase, but again, not cause for alarm. Wait till I show you the bigger picture and go back further in time. Pending sales, you can see that we're kind of flattening out here. So June, we had 48 houses go under contract, whereas in June last year we had 37. More sales happening here in Carter County in Ardmore, an increase of 29.7%. Let's take a look at closed sales. So closed sales, we had a dip, so less closings. June, we had 35 hit the market, a decrease of 42.6. So this is actual closings. This could be an indicator that more people are busting out over inspections. June of last year, we had 61. So people are paying more. They're paying a higher interest rate, a higher house payment, and I think that could be making them a little more picky. Average days on market, we're sitting at 53 in June of this year. We are flat, people. We had 53 last year also. So completely flat for days on market. We are not seeing that increase. That middle number, though, is sitting at 21. That is lower than the average. So again, that's telling me that houses are selling very, very fast, or they're staying on the market for a while. Let's go back in time. Hang on while I pull this up. So I'm going to adjust our trend data here to go back further than 3 years. Let's go back as far as we can go. So here we can see our average days on market. Again, just trending way lower than it used to. So this is going back to roughly somewhere between 2012, 2013. So you can see how we used to trend, COVID happening, such a spike, and then just leveling out again into this new market trend data. So seeing the increase in the interest rates, seeing the change in the home prices, seeing the influx in the market, this has really just been, as you can see, pretty unprecedented to anything that we've really experienced before. Total homes for sale, this is really where you can see people have discussed heavily that sellers, owners are not moving because they don't want to lose their interest rate, but this really speaks differently. This really tells a different story than that. This is definitely telling me that people are putting their houses on the market. People are selling, people are moving. They may need to have an incentive to move, but we are definitely having, as you can see, more houses hit the market to sell. So what's happening with pending? How many people are actually buying houses? Trending a little higher overall, but not as much of a spike on the other fronts. So this tells me that you've got more buyers, have more choices because there's more homes for sale, but we still have about the same pending sales. How many are actually closing? Kind of trending along the same too. So you can see through the COVID years, we had more of an increase on amount of closings, but we're kind of stabilizing out on total closings though to where we used to be. Interesting. Days on market. Look at this dip. So you can really see how we used to trend well over 100 days average, you guys, average days on market. And now we're sitting at 53. So sellers have really gotten a little spoiled over selling houses quickly in the COVID times, but we still aren't even anywhere close to where we used to be before COVID hit. So you can really tell that even in our area, we used to experience about a 6-month timeline for that balanced market. Just means that if you didn't have any new houses hit the market, it would take roughly 6 months to deplete the existing houses that are currently on the market. We are well below that, well below that. If you love data as much as I do, I did a deep dive on the most dangerous cities in Oklahoma. Please be sure to check out that video. I really went off on a deep dive of just really trying to understand more. It really started with Ardmore because somebody commented at one point in time that Ardmore was the murder capital of the world. And I was like, what in the heck are you talking about? So I did a deep dive on the most dangerous cities of Oklahoma. Please be sure to check that out. It was quite a journey that I went on, but that's all I got for you guys today. Until the next time, you guys, bye.